Hi, my name's Elizabeth. This is LA Stitches. It is Sunday, November 30th, and I am filming my second ever Flosstube. This is terrifying in so much as I didn't expect any sort of substantial success off of my first video. For context, my graduating class in high school was under 90. And as I'm filming this, I have, I think, approaching 220 subscribers. That's so many people. We've surpassed the amount of people that I can imagine in my brain on views, because I just think of my high school auditorium, and I think we had like 750 students when I graduated, and that video is sitting at 1,500 views, my first Flosstube. I've always been very proud of how friendly and kind and supportive the online cross-stitch community is, even though I have not been a super active part of it. I've just enjoyed watching people support other people. I think that's really fun. I was not prepared to be on the receiving end of any of that, so I've done so many takes of this opening because it's just wild to me. My nails look awful because I have a migraine and I can't stand the smell of nail polish remover right now. And the only reason I'm mentioning that, in addition to my nails, because migraines are kind of a given for me, is that my dog may decide that I am being too active and I need to go lay down. So if there's an abrupt cut, it's because she's decided I'm doing too much. I forgot last time that it was the week of Thanksgiving. So to anyone who celebrates Thanksgiving, I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. We took our dog Luna to go meet my parents' dogs that are remaining. If you missed my first video, we've both had a dog loss, so now we're down some dogs, but everybody got to play together for the first time because we weren't worried about immunocompromised dogs. So that was fun. That was a nice bright spot. If you partake in Black Friday, I hope you found some good deals. We got a new coffee maker because ours has been dying for 3 months. And I also believe it's the first Sunday of Advent. So if you celebrate that, I hope you enjoy it. I'm not super well versed on Advent, unfortunately. It fascinates me. I just haven't gone down that rabbit hole yet. I'm back a day early because I planned on filming Mondays, but tomorrow is December 1st, and I guess this is my little announcement that I am going to be doing Vlogmas, and I'll do more details on that after I do all the cross-stitch stuff, in case you're not super interested in that. And my last bit of fun stuff is, behind me, I have this is a puzzle of Leonid Afromov's Rainy Night Walk, possibly. I saw that the artwork had a different name than the puzzle, so I figured I'd give you the puzzle name in case you want this one. This was a gift from a friend who was redecorating her house, and she knew I liked Leonid Afromov, so she gave it to me. Additionally, I had my first finished full coverage ever, which I probably should have shown in my first video, but it's not framed well because I just wanted it in a frame to enjoy it. And this is, I practiced how to not get glare on this, but this is Bicycle in Amsterdam by Leonid Afromov. The chart is the mini version from Artecy, and I just think it's gorgeous. I have some family ties to the Netherlands and Belgium, and it seemed like a good first full coverage piece. So yeah, there's that. I have more fun stuff, but it's cross-stitch related. I wanted to show my little Notion bits, mostly my scissors, because I think my scissors are great. I inherited them from my grandma. And I've never seen anybody on Flosstube show scissors like the ones I have. So these are my scissors. They're just scissors. But what's cool about them is that they fold up. These ones in particular are from West Germany, so they're kind of old. But I used to travel a lot more than I do now on planes, and I never had an issue with my scissors being taken, but it's because they fold up like this, and I don't think this shows as a sharp or anything on the scanners. So I'll include a link because I think these are fantastic. And apparently you can get a 4-pack for $7 on Amazon. So if you happen to want folding scissors so that you also don't have to have like a case for them, they'll be down below. I don't get any money from that, but I think they're great, and I don't know why more people don't have them. I have 2 more like Notion E type things. This is my Orc container. It is an old Icebreakers container, and so in here I just stuff my threads, and then when I want to empty it out I can open the large side. And additionally I keep a really strong needle minder. This is from an Owl Forest embroidery kit, and I keep my normal size needles, which are size 28, and a kit needle for larger fabrics that I work on from kits. And it's served me so well. And it's so compact, and especially when I go to travel, this is empty. Right now it's got orts in it, so you know, pardon the thread mess, but you know, you just put that in there and then everything's contained, and it's wonderful. So there's that. Also, the magnet means that your scissors don't go anywhere inside the container, so they're not moving around too much. I'm sorry if any of that's loud. I don't watch stuff with headphones, so I don't know. And then the last thing to do is, this is what I keep my needles in. It's an old tea tin. I have a needle miter in the bottom so that the whole metal thing is magnetized. I work with so many magnets. I love magnets. I don't want to lose my needles at any point. So I have a bag with beading needles and a bag with all my other needles in here. And then if, you know, anything gets loose or anything, they're magnetized, so they don't go anywhere. They stay in the container. Moving on, I'm going to talk about what I worked on this week, and I want to thank D Stitcher, because she reminded me that Pattern Keeper you can show mock-ups in. So I have my Chromebook here. I'm not used to using it in tablet form, so it might be a little bit clunky, but hopefully I'll be able to show you finished, what they'll look like when they're done. That's the words. But first is my morning stitching. I'm working on Christmas Truck by Dimensions. I did 487 stitches this week for 1,567 stitches total, and it is 65.40% done, not including back stitching. So making good progress on that. And then the next thing I worked on was Christmas Truck is on all of the called like kit stuff. The next one I worked on is Chocolate Border Collie by Celtic Rose Needle Arts. And this is what it'll look like when it's done. Oh, she's so pretty. To me, I call her Poppy because she's got poppies around her, even though I haven't stitched any. And that's being stitched 1/1 full cross on 28 count Easy Guide Lugana. Here's where we are. I did 1,227 stitches for 8,558 stitches total, or 13.58%. I am fully caught up on Gridiron Grind, but there is a Steelers game today, And for Gridiron Grind, I do whatever the Steelers score times 10 on the main Border Collie. Currently, I'm just color completing the most common color. And then whatever their opponents get times 20 on the background, because background's a pain, and it keeps it moving along. The only other project I worked on this week, because it was a busy week, and y'all scared me, so I just spent some days in crisis, was Nocturnal Messenger. Oh, me talking about how I'm going to have images of the final products and then not showing you them. This is, maybe this way will be better. Yeah. This is Nocturnal Messenger by Luthien Art. She has a website and an Etsy, whatever you prefer. And here's where I'm at. I did 824 stitches for 22,951 total, or 76.50% complete. I stitch on this while watching Critical Role, which is a D&D campaign online done by voice actors. I am one episode behind, so this should get more work in the next week as well. And I leave a hanging thread because I only work on it for the duration of the episodes, which, while long, are... I don't know where I was going with that. It's fine. I have my total number of stitches for November, which is 10,665. It wasn't a particularly good stitching month because there was a lot of stuff that happened the first 2 weeks of this month that meant that not a lot of stitching got done. But just in the grand scheme of things, I just think it's interesting to know. And I did 2,538 stitches this week. So, plans as far as cross stitch goes, I'll continue to work on Christmas Truck in the mornings. I like to work through, I have 4 projects that I work on in a rotation kind of, as far as Steelers games this day, Critical Role comes out this day, so I do the Steelers stitching before the Critical Role stitching on the calendar. If that makes any sense, I don't know. I have the Great British Bake Off finale to stitch. So that goes into... I will get there. We're gonna figure it all out, and I'm gonna get more comfortable with doing everything, and it's gonna get easier. So I am doing a crop of Cat Shelf 3 by Randall Spangler, charted by HAED. Specifically, let me see if I can get this zoomed in on her. This middle one, called The Secret Garden Cat, for my friend, who was the original reason why I started filming these videos. Her cat's name is Willow. And I need to do 1,000 stitches for the finale of Great British Bake Off Series 16 on this. How I do my Bake Off stitching, which this is the last time, hopefully you'll see that piece this year, is I multiply, so I assign each contestant a number based on what their name score would be in Scrabble. And then I multiply that by 5 if they win the technical, 10 if they win Star Baker, 20 if they are eliminated, and 50 if they win overall. So the last episode is always the highest stitch count because you have 2 eliminations, so you have 2 people times 20, and then you have the overall winner who's times 50. And it just so happened that that worked out to be a perfect 1,000 this season. The other thing that I will probably work on this week is Summer Moon. which is artwork by Abraham Hunter, charted by Artecy. This is the large version. And she's beautiful. I love her, but as you can see, it's a lot of sky. And even with all of the... It's cloudy out. Even with all of the, like, fiddling with lighting and stuff I've tried to do today, it is so much more blue in person than it looks on my camera. But it's gorgeous. I call it my blue horse piece because I don't expect people to know the name of artwork off the top of their head. But I wanted to get 6 pages done this year, so the next page I'll do is down here. These lines look very sharp, but I am feathering them a little bit. But because this is Monaco, I haven't had any sorts of lines showing up. The lines that you see is where, like, the clouds ended, and they don't actually line up with where the page lines are, but it is very trippy. I definitely doubted what I was doing, but I think for such a large piece, this will be 66 pages. Thinking about it in page format versus Nocturnal Messenger's 30,000 stitches, and the Border Collie piece is 63,000 stitches. This is like 150, 200, somewhere in that realm. Luna has appeared. Are you coming to yell at me, Lynn? You want to come here? She's thinking about it, but she's not decided yet. So I'm going to keep going. My last bit of, like, stitching related, and then we'll get into talking about Vlogmas, is I have an Instagram. It's the same as this channel's name. I hopefully will link it. My goal this week was to figure out descriptions. Hi. And that next week, I will hopefully go over my 2026 plans. Don't step on my computer, please. Here's Luna. She's not barking at me, so it's okay, but she will bark at me if I ignore her long enough. But if all you cared about was the cross stitch, no worries. Enjoy the rest of your day. I will see you next week. I will be filming Monday, December 8th and uploading then. And that will be all of my cross stitch. Don't worry, I will not leave anything out if you're not interested in Vlogmas. I might go take a break. I feel like she's gonna start barking at me soon. And then I'll come back with Vlogmas. Luna has left, so we are in the clear to film. I had already decided before I uploaded my first video that I was going to do Vlogmas this year. I did a mini Vlogmas last year for my friends, and I thought it would be fun to do it again on YouTube, just so I didn't clutter up their phones with notifications of, like, guess the name or guess the color and the reveal. So from that alone, you can know that this is going to be more yarn knitting themed. Last year, just like as for context, I guess, last year I got the Naughty Pine Fiber Co. like Country Christmas or something, Western Christmas, something like that, Advent, which here's all the colors of that if you were curious. It was a beautiful gradient, but every day had a country music song, and even though I knew it was a gradient, it was fun seeing how the music translated into the colors for me, and so I got to guess how the colors worked because my boyfriend was the one who opened it up, and so he knew, and then I'd guess. He's not sure if he wants to participate in being online yet. He's not a super social media person, so we'll see. But for this year, I got the Leap of Faith yarns, Noah and the Ark Advent, because it's animal themed. And from the information provided, there is a card in each one of these envelopes that says what animal it's going to be. So you can guess along with me, depending on how he participates, or it's just you guessing. That could be fun. The plan is I will film that. We get to guess what color it's going to be first thing in the morning when I wake up. And then I'm going to be adding on to my mitered square advent blanket. As you can see, last year was my first advent. So it went this way. I'm going to be building off of it, I think, this way. Maybe this on some side as we go. So I'll come back and show you how the color worked up. At least held single, knitting a mitered square. And then I will also show you my daily morning cross stitch, because those are the only really seasonal projects I have. So you'll see progress, daily progress on the Christmas truck and stuff. After that, I'm going to work on my Dimensions Gold Christmas Village ornament. And then that'll be it most days. I am hoping that every 5th day I'll be able to include like a fun little recipe that by the nature of how I have to eat currently will be gluten-free, because I am grain-free. So if you have those type of restrictions for you or someone in your life, friendly reminder to always be careful about cross-contamination, but I don't use grains, so if you needed a recipe inspiration, I got you. And then I think the only other thing that might creep into those is as I finish my Christmas knitting. So warning, because I know my family has been very supportive and everybody's watched this. If you know you're getting Christmas socks from me and you don't want to be spoiled on what those socks look like, don't watch my Vlogmas. Everyone in my immediate family gets a hand knit pair of socks from me for Christmas, and that is what they get. So just as like a whole wrap up of that, Vlogmas every Monday, only cross stitch, but all of the cross stitch I do. Did I mess that up? I might have. The Flosstubes. Every Monday, only cross stitch what I did cross stitch that week. Vlogmas. Daily. What I stitched on that morning, yarn advent. Possible other knitting finishes as they come. As far as like another little like fun, if you don't know what you want to do with your advent this year, this is my advent project from last year. I'm not doing an advent project this year because I've learned that trying to do this and gift stitching or gift knitting at the same time is very hard. So I will be working on my advent project next year. But I also tend to watch the Vlogmas videos into March. So Christmas can be all year round to me. I don't care. But I will link the Ravelry page for this below. I think it's got a full-size picture on it. It might only have half. This is a full-size blanket, but I have this puzzle, which is very heavy on top of it, so I'm not going to pick it up for you right now. But yeah, that's it for me. I hope you find something to smile about today. You deserve happiness. I will see you next Monday or tomorrow. And we're gonna keep going and figure this out. And thank you for all the comments. If I haven't responded to you, I'm reading them all. I'm just incredibly overwhelmed. My boyfriend found me crying under the kitchen table yesterday because everyone was so nice. I didn't know what to do, so I just went and hid, even though none of you are in my house. And so I guess I'm just kind of like a little child in that way. Yeah, I hope you have a wonderful December, and a wonderful week, day, whatever it is. I'm getting better at signing off.